Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's safe and well. Today, I wanted to talk about my experience in finding out who I am, finding out more about myself, and how this journey of trying to find myself can leave me feeling quite vulnerable, can leave me feeling quite upset at times. I can feel quite discouraged, and you know, I can burn myself out sometimes, like on this sort of spiritual path in life. I think that I'm always tied into sort of seeking, and there's a very thin line between self improvement and self development and this overbearing need to get as far away from me as I possibly can. And truth be told, on a deep level, there's parts of me that I just don't like about myself. There's parts of me that I don't find comfortable sitting with. And this is what sort of can propel me into seeking, finding, looking for a better perspective on life, looking for me. I started to embark on little journeys, trying new things, like self discovery. I'm constantly like searching for myself, constantly trying to look and find it, trying to get in touch with myself. A lot of people go in these sayings and start saying about learning about who I am, and I'm only just getting in touch with my inner self. And you know there's many things that we try, but you know what I've sort of found me that when I start to try and find new things, I can quite easily find myself feeling a little bit confused, and I sort of don't bear in mind the fact that I'm trying something new, and when it doesn't work out, I can have this overwhelming expectation that everything's going to work out. I'm going to be really good at something, and my idea of a specific task, when I imagine myself, like, I think, I know, I want to learn how to play the guitar, just for instance, and then I start trying to learn it, and it's not that I wouldn't enjoy it if I could do it, but I get discouraged, and I think, well, that's not me, I don't find that comfortable. I don't feel like that's what's me. And the idea that I have in my head of like learning this new thing can make me feel discouraged. I get frustrated, and then the journey starts again, and I'll try something else. And when I actually bypass this self-inflicted discouragement through having this expectation that I think that I'm gonna like something, and when I try it, I don't. Instead of looking at it from a different perspective and saying, at least I've got the courage to try things. Because what happened with me is I'd try a couple of things, I'd get really discouraged because I don't try simple things, me. I just don't think to myself, all right, well, I'm gonna try something that's really simple. I go all in. I'm an all in and all out person. I'm either all in or I'm all out, and usually for me, it's like I'll like jump into something where it's like really really difficult for me to do. I didn't go and sign up for a 5K. I went and signed up for a 50K. My first time, and I must have ran 4 or 5 times before my first ever run. And I'm not a big runner, and I didn't really enjoy it, but the sense of achievement I got from it, I quite liked. You know what I mean? I got a little bit of self worth from that, and I put the time and the effort and the energy into that. But maybe if I'd have just started by taking little steps, maybe, and I might have enjoyed that journey. But then again, I went running twice after that, and I didn't try it again. But sort of what I'm trying to say is, in my adult life, and I think you might identify with this, is sort of like always been trying to like look and search for myself, you know, trying to work out who I am and what I am and who I want to be, and what I should think and what I think I should be, and it's all been based off like an idea that's been imprinted on me through maybe the people that I grew up around, maybe it's around a certain community, maybe it's even my ethnic group, my background, if that's what you call it, growing up in Western society, you know, thinking that that I should have this, and I should work that certain job, and I should have a certain profession, and I should be in a relationship, and I should be getting married, and I should have a house, and I should have kids, and I should have the car and the driveway, and you know, and sort of like removing that material side of my life, and realizing that that's not who I am, and and sort of realizing that where I work and stuff isn't who I am, and then sort of like, all right, well, if these things are not who I am, these are what my identity is tied to, then who am I? And then I go on journeys, and I started to travel the world, and I started to experience different cultures and different landscapes and different communities and different ways of doing things. And I still didn't find myself, even though I went on this beautiful discovery, and sort of like bright broadened my perspective on life, that there was other ways of doing things. And there was different foods and smells and sounds and people and places, and I opened that world to a much bigger audience. Do you know what I mean? And I started to like discover more of myself and what I liked, and going, do you know what? I actually don't like that sort of stuff. I like this. I like the way they do that, but I don't like the way we do this. And sort of like looking at that separation as well. Different cultures, different backgrounds, and sort of like opening up this world inside me that this is not who I am. So who am I? And as I got older, I slowly started to realize that I was always on this search for me. I was always on this search. I've always been on this search for me, and I can get tied up with self development, because that's not me, is it? It's like I'm a forever changing person anyway, and I'm forever evolving, forever getting cleverer, or we're forever learning more and becoming more open minded, and more spiritually seated, so to speak. Stiller inside, and the material assets don't, and the shiny stuff doesn't distract me from my spiritual development anymore. And and that's when I truly start to look at myself and start to accept me for who I am and where I am. And when I start to do this, I start to like not only like discover who I am, but I start to remove who I think I should be. And when I remove the thoughts of who I think I should be, naturally I'm left with who I am. And when I get to this place, I can find comfort and peace and ease in that. I can feel a bit more comfortable, and from that place I can play and create. And when I remove them expectations of who I think I should be, I can then sort of like have that sort of like movement, so to speak, to become something new, to try new things, and maybe walk a different way, talk a different way, feel and look at things a different way. My perception starts to change, and as I said, this inner world starts to open up. And I've been writing about it, to be fair, and it's like, why do I always feel like I'm on this journey of self discovery? But if I'm on a journey of self discovery, and I'm seeking something, but I'm not lost. I don't feel lost anymore. I don't feel like I'm looking in the outside world for something to fill an inside void. If that makes sense. And now I've started to go inwards and start to like look at myself on a more spiritual level, and just learning to be still more often. I realized that I've never been lost. I was just lacking me. I was just lacking the sense of me. And I was always judging myself off other people, and because I wasn't showing myself this attention that I required, and this desire to love myself, and pay more attention to the body that I'm in, and be still in there, and see that, being that consciousness, and being aware of that without being distracted from the outside world. I started to learn more about myself, and I learned that I already am. That's just the simpleness of that. I already am. I don't have to be anything. I already am. I'm here, and and I'm not missing anything. I'm already full. There's nothing outside of me. that is ever going to make me more than I already am. And I found comfort in that. I found peace in that. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. And I can get distracted. I can get distracted. I can get drawn. My attention get um, sidetracked with shiny stuff. I'm a bit of a magpie. I can become materialistic yet again and find myself wandering down that path of like, oh, isn't that nice? Sort of lose myself again. And I'm so glad that I've sort of like knowing that nothing's lost. Maybe if I remove this idea of who I should be or who I think I should be or who I thought I was, I will then discover who I really am. And that's the sort of the message that I wanted to carry today. That was the sort of what I wanted to share today. I wanted to get that out. I wanted to talk about that because I've been writing about it. And there is a book going to be coming soon. I'm looking at getting it published. I can't work out whether it's finished yet, and just gonna feel with that. But if there's any of this content is of any use to you, I just love to, if you're on that journey of self discovery, please hit me up in the comments. I'd love to have a chat with somebody who's just on this such exciting but yet confusing side of life, so to speak. We can be excited, it can be confusing, it can be a little bit fearful as well. So it'd be nice to know that I'm not on my own, and I hope that somebody gets something from this. Stay blessed, guys. I hope you find what you're looking for. Love.